Today we're going to look at Psalm number 82, described in many Bibles as a psalm for justice. I'll begin by reading the psalm. God has taken his place in the divine council. In the midst of the gods he holds judgment. How long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? Give justice to the weak and the orphan. Maintain the right of the lowly and the destitute. Rescue the weak and the needy. Deliver them from the hand of the wicked. They have neither knowledge nor understanding. They walk around in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are shaken. I say, you are gods, children of the Most High, all of you. Nevertheless, you shall die like mortals and fall like any prince. Rise up, O God, judge the earth, for all the nations belong to you. The cause of justice is something that's resonated through the centuries. Long before the time of Jesus on earth, there was still this campaign for justice, as this psalm shows. Give justice to the weak and the orphan. Maintain the right of the lowly and the destitute. Rescue the weak and the needy. Deliver them from the hand of the wicked. Justice is something that people have fought for through centuries, because justice is helping to keep people on a level field, helping people to feel part of society, helping people to know that they have a place. Jesus, through his life, very much fought for justice, sometimes overtly, sometimes almost in an undercover way, but very clearly if we look at the message. It was a message that spoke of freedom for all people, freedom for those who are underprivileged, freedom for those who are struggling, freedom for those who couldn't seek that freedom for themselves. Jesus left us a great example to work and fight for justice for all. Because at the heart of justice is a desire to love people, to care for people, to believe that every person has a right to a chance in life, to believe that every person is important. Just as they are to God, they must be to the world today as well. There are so many different gifts, so many different ideas and thoughts that God gives to people. Yet somehow we can sometimes dismiss them. They're not capable of this. They're not up to that. They wouldn't be able to do it. Where is the justice in dismissing anyone? It's not unrealistic to believe that God has given each person some place in the world today. And at the heart of every Christian's life must be a desire to bring out the gifts in others as well as to use the gifts in our own lives. Recognizing gifts is tremendously important, but recognizing also where there are problems, recognizing where there is injustice in the world is incredibly important. That's part of caring for one another. That's part of caring for society, part of caring for the world in which we live. And that's what Jesus asks of each of us, surely. To rescue the weak and the needy, to deliver them from the hand of the wicked. The weak and the needy might come in all different forms today. There are all kinds of fights for justice, as I've said. It may be campaigning for rights over race, over colour, over background. It may be over justice regarding work environment. It may be regarding justice over a lack of work. There are all kinds of reasons as we seek justice for people. But being aware is a duty of every Christian person. Just as the psalmist wrote all those centuries ago, so it is for each Christian today to continually pray and to work for people who may not be able to care and look after themselves. Sometimes people need help, just as we ourselves sometimes need help. In our world, we are interconnected. We rely on each other. And too often we forget that. Too often We assume that we can be independent, or just stick to our own groups, stick to our own friendships, stick to the people that we know and like, stick to the people who are a little bit like us. Jesus offered no such example. Jesus told us to go everywhere, to look everywhere, to preach the gospel wherever we are. That wasn't just a command for some elite group, but for every Christian person. Through our words, through our actions, we're commanded to preach the gospel. A gospel of love, a gospel of peace, a gospel of hope, a gospel of justice. And so we work for justice. We pray for justice. We need to be aware of where injustice occurs and what we can do about it. And then just one more thing from this psalm, from that last verse, rise up, O God, judge the earth, for all the nations belong to you. We're reminded that we fight for justice because Jesus fought for justice. We're reminded that we fight for freedom because Jesus offers freedom. Freedom not just for us who know him, but freedom for all people. And he asks us to be part of the team, sharing that message of freedom around, fighting for the sort of justice that will encourage people to know that they have a place, to know that they have a part to play in the world. And it is God's world. All the nations belong to you, wrote the psalmist. And that is a wonderful recognition, and one that we all must have. Sometimes we treat the world as if it's our own. Sometimes we treat our relationships as if they're just ours to deal with. Sometimes we build our own little friendship groups, our own little support groups. But all the nations are united under God. All the nations are united as one family, bound together by a loving Creator, by a God who redeems, by a God who seeks justice. It is our duty, but it is also our privilege to work for justice, to offer love, just as we have received love.